this is my review of Sonic X. Okay, so in this episode, Dr. Eggman decides to take over the city. Initially unable to pick what robot he wants, he instead just picks one of them at random, and we wind up seeing one of his robots, an E-Series robot named Missile Wrist, which, as the name implies, has giant missiles for fists and can also shoot missiles from its chest. But anyway, Dr. Eggman storms the city with Missile Wrist. Meanwhile, Chris and Chuck, realizing Sonic has gone missing because he decided to go explore, try to go find him, but ultimately give up when they can't, because he's apparently visiting a nearby snowy mountain, because he's Sonic. He can do whatever he wants. He can go wherever he wants. That's basically his character. But when they get back, they find out from the news that Dr. Eggman was in fact transported over to their world and is in fact attacking the city, and Chris and Tails get into the Tornado 2 to stop him and head into the city. Meanwhile, Dr. Eggman has successfully gotten the mayor to come out of hiding, and but when he finds out that he actually can't get the city due to the charter limitations, he ultimately decides to destroy the city instead, albeit he's a bit disappointed to do so. At which point Tails and Sonic show up. Tails and Chris show up to actually face off against Dr. Eggman, and even holds Missile Wrist's attention for a while. But they do ultimately get hit. The tornado gets hit, and Tails is forced to switch to jet mode to keep them from going down. Meanwhile, Amy and Knuckles, who have been hiding out in the sewers this whole time, actually find out what's happening, and both go to actually deal with Missile Wrist. Although Amy ultimately rushes in and winds up getting captured because of it, so she basically winds up being a hostage, and Knuckles can't do anything to help her. Eventually Sonic, who comes back from his trip, and sees everything playing out on the news, goes in to help out, and sure enough is given a ring by Tails when he finally shows up, and effortlessly dances around Missile Wrist's attacks and eventually destroys it. At which point, the military comes in, trying to arrest Sonic and his friends, and they escape on the Tornado 2 using a ladder that Tails just conveniently had. And they all go back to Chris's house, with the exception of Knuckles, who leaps off and goes his own separate direction, but does thank them for helping him out. Now everybody except for Knuckles has wound up in their world, and we know that even some characters that weren't exactly known to them have wound up there too. Like, for example, we know Big the Cat is going to show up at some point, and also Rouge is there somehow, but for the most part, all the characters they know about have been located and are now accounted for. So, well, more or less, because we don't really want Dr. Eggman to be accounted for in this kind of situation. But yeah, now Dr. Eggman has officially attempted to try and take over the world, as he's known to do. But yeah, this version of Eggman is significantly less comical than he usually is. So yeah, this is a bit more serious Eggman. We never usually see serious Eggman all that much, so that's a refreshing pace for his character. This episode was just one of the many fights between Sonic and Dr. Eggman that are going to carry out over the series. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more fights, presumably with a lot more different robots, and it's kind of be like a baddie of the week type scenario as they slowly figure out how to get back home. But yeah, I'm assuming we're also going to get some lore about Sonic's world and stuff like that. But yeah, it is going to be interesting seeing Sonic and Eggman face off. We've seen that before, but it's going to be on a much larger scale this time because Eggman has a lot of robots at his disposal, and it's questionable as to whether or not he'll eventually get to them all. But if you guys have seen this episode of Sonic X and like my review of it, then what did you guys think? Let's get the discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out. and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks under my way saying thanks. So again, check that out in the description below. So again, only a couple bucks a month. It helps me out, so it helps support me, and it helps support you guys in turn. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!